All right, another no-code news update for week 3 and 4 of 2026. I'm going to do it every other week for a bit, just as a catch-up on everything else. N8N, again in the news, they're making a lot of changes, but they have security updates that you need to patch. CVE 2026-21AF8. There's just CVEs are what we do for, or they do for security announcements, so keep an eye on those. Start patching and get ready, because with 2 being out, 1's going to be to the point of end of life where you can't patch it. So start making the move, even though it can be tricky. It has been worth it because for me, you get that kind of publish feature. So that's nice to have in N8N now. So you can change a workflow, but not push it until you're really ready. Zapier just announced the URL shortener app is moving to premium to reduce abuse. They're also depreciating outdated TLS encryption starting February 9th. So if you're using those, make a move. And again, they're having an open house or open meeting, public all hands meeting to share the transformation for 2026 and focus on AI orchestration, agents, Copilot, MCP. To be in on these is important, so give it a go. There'll be links in the show notes. They have or do sponsor some of my shows. Keep that in mind. But I'm just reading the news here, what AI found to be news. All right. So yeah, a lot of these platforms are becoming AI agentic orchestration systems, which is the foundation to a lot of what we need to do. Notion 3.2 released January 20th, major mobile AI improvements. The Notion agent now works fully on mobile. Wow, that's cool. You can build forms, create databases, and search your company's knowledge base, which then means AI can do it as well. New AI model options let you choose between Google, OpenAI, and Anthropic. Will it let you do local? I don't know if that matters, but maybe. And then a meetings tab in the sidebar, which I tried and it crashed my machine, and a map view for databases, Slack connector as well. So yeah, I'm starting to use Notion now. Like I said, I almost feel like it's a platform that you could just start building on and integrating with other services. Softr in the news, and they updated their pricing, 1,000 records per table up from 200 for their free plan, internal users, things like that. So you'll see some pricing changes there. They also have a standalone form, which is really cool. Some company I did a meeting with the other day was wanting to charge $10,000 a year for a standalone form. So you got some options here. Softr is a great way to start going, as well as Noloco for just no code, easy to build user interfaces. Speaking of Noloco, it's running launch week 3. Daily major announcements. New features include checklist layout, task management, smarter navigation, side drawer, record viewing, AI suggested fields for faster table creation, which is cool. That helped a lot. Card layout sizes and spaces for organizing pages, and just more options in layouts and price changes. Just keep an eye on this stuff. It's always a funny vibe coding versus just using a no code solution, especially for intranet or internal applications. Really give it a look. And that's Noloco, and all the links will be in the show notes. Xano is releasing 2.1.3 January 21st. Tenant Center for multi-tenant management with data isolation, great for SaaS builders. Xano Script beta, a new scripting language for back-end logic. Visual Canvas, a node-based editor for constructing workflows. Logic Assistant beta, describe logic in plain language and get AI-generated Xano scripts. This is cool stuff. Xano's funny because they actually are at a different paradigm or layer than your Softr or Noloco. They seem to really want to be your back-end, removing the need to code, but allowing you to code if you want to, and then giving you that kind of hub to, as a team or as a solo builder, to really stay organized. I so much want to use this. I'm hoping a project will come that I can use this and make it work. Or there'll be a sponsor someday and I'll just go build something to learn and show it working. All right, Google Opal again. Hey, Google Opal released significant improvements, including advanced step-by-step debugging for workflows. Still no code. Errors displayed in real time. Here's what's really important. Opal is now integrated into Gemini's web interface via Gems Manager, making AI agent creation a few clicks away. Opal, like so many of these tools right now, has an awesome kind of platform for mini applications. So if you can really try this and take your time to try it, it's worth it. The fact it's integrating into Gemini is really making Gemini a strong contender for a lot of things. And I'll link to a guy who's doing some great YouTube stuff to show what you can do with Gemini. He's really showing a lot of the connecting dots that they're doing to make it a great AI platform. Now for some local LLM breakthroughs and news, I also just will remind people that I do have a local AI benchmarking site to just show how they work well for business logic, so not just like random benchmarks. So I'll put a link in the show notes here. Microsoft's BitNet, 1-bit LLMs hit GitHub trending on January 7th, promising dramatic efficiency gains that could democratize local AI. Memory systems are becoming infrastructure. Claude Mem and MVid are trending heavily. Basically, the bottom line is 1-bit LLMs. We're getting to this place where running an LLM to do a focused job is very believable and practical. Could even be in your browser, could be just so many different places on a Raspberry Pi. So we're getting so close to having these specialized devices that AI can bring to it a certain level of extra features or extra ability we couldn't imagine before. That's really cool. Browser use is trending, 76,000 stars. Dell just released a browser tool as well. So a lot of browser agents out there to just go try. These are open source, so you can download them and use them or host them. Vercel's browser agent got a lot of news too, where you can use it to do things with websites. For example, you could do QA automation on your websites or monitoring in-depth workflows on your websites to make sure they're not going down or have gone down. So that's trending. AnythingLLM, that is an interesting platform. I've tried it. I still haven't figured out it's like a Swiss Army knife, and I'm just not sure. I haven't put in the time, but AnythingLLM, 53,000 stars. So give it a go. There'll be some links in show notes. DeerFlow, ByteDance, community-driven deep research framework, combining LLMs with web search, crawling, and Python execution. Open source alternative to commercial research tools. Again, that's a cool option for running with the local LLM stuff that I'm doing. And maybe I'll just run this one to show in my next video how we can run something cheap, because you're running it on your own computer, doing your own local models, and it's free other than the electricity to do deep research. What would be deep research for my customers? Again, it could just be parsing the web for news about their particular customers or deep research of their data to surface any kind of interesting information that they might then be able to use in conversation. So ByteDance open sourcing this research framework, pretty cool. All right, some trending models, GLM Flash, LTX, and Flux. All these models I'll link to. Basically just more models online that we can use. I do some testing on the benchmark site to show you how they do with basic or common business workflows, like parsing emails, parsing RFPs, generating structured output and stuff like that. All right, some other videos I saw this week that I want to share. A Claude Code video is all you need, and he does a great job, and he just summarizes some practical uses, but also how he just puts it really well, how as a developer or a coder, you got to start thinking or realizing it's more important about you understanding the business needs and applying these orchestrated, moving away from worrying about the artisan code moment and moving into the almost like a manager role. Claude Code's Chrome extension does way more than you think video. Again, this guy's great too. He shares a lot of examples of what you can do with this extension, and I've been using it since, and it's just awesome. So give it a try, give it a walk. A2 UI, the protocol that makes AI design functional UI. This is a great video, but it's also a key topic. I so much want to build something around this because I know it's the future of building UIs. So to learn it and to understand it, and not to learn it because it's not, we're letting AI do this stuff. To help AI know this is what we want to do means it could build quicker, more consistent UIs for internal tooling and external tooling. Finally, what is Convex? It's nice to see alternative to Superbase. Convex looks interesting. This is a good video on it, so worth a watch. All right, that's all the news in 2 weeks. I know I've missed some stuff. I'll keep an eye on things more and keep collecting information. I'm writing about this stuff on Substack, so you can go there. Join Substack. Paid mode helps support the channel. Paid mode in YouTube helps support the channel. And comments and feedback are great because then I get to know that some of the stuff is working. All right, thank you and enjoy the week.